What's going on, guys? I'm gonna give you guys the top 5 best loadouts in Warzone 2 right now. These are all meta, super low recoil, and very easy to use. Also, keep in mind that you have to keep the tunings on point, but you don't have to be perfect. This is to get as close as possible. If you tune them any further, remember that it's actually gonna hurt more than it's gonna help. So without further ado, I do want to say that I'm giving away 3 battle passes in this video. All you guys have to do is like this video and comment your gamer tag. But we're gonna start out with the Cronin Squall. So I actually dropped 42 kills, and I'm going to be uploading that video a little bit later today so you guys can see this loadout along with this weapon right here. But we're starting out with the Cronin Squall. You're using the second tread 40 for the muzzle. For vertical and horizontal recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed and aiming stability. The tuning is for recoil control set to 0.28 inches, and the recoil stabilization is set to 0.59 ounces. 6.8 barrel for the Cronin Squall for damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, and hipfire accuracy at the cost of aim down sight speed, hip recoil control, and movement speed. The HR 6.8 barrel is honestly the most optimal choice. I mean, the other ones, they're cool, but I just don't think they compare. So the tuning for that is 0.37 inches for damage range and 0.39 pounds for recoil steadiness. 6.8 high velocity for bullet velocity at the cost of some damage range. This thing already has exceptional damage range, and with everything we have on there, this won't even matter. The tuning is set to 8.71 GR for bullet velocity and 0.50 G for damage range. I put on a 50 round drum, and if you think you can handle 30, feel free. You'll have more movement speed, aim down sight speed, reload quickness, and sprint to fire speed. But in my opinion, the 50 is perfect, and I wouldn't use the 30 myself. Aim Op V4 for the sight. It's completely up to you, whichever one you want to use. This is personal preference, so whichever you choose, even if it's a weird sniper scope, hey, all the more power to you. I set the far distance to negative 1.65 inches. But for this, I mean, some people change the aim down sight speed. It's really overall what you want. So to test this gun out for you guys, this has a very interesting recoil pattern, and I'll show it to you guys. It's very simple, actually. In my opinion, all you guys have to do is tilt your thumbstick to the bottom right, and you'll have perfect recoil control for the Cronin Squall. If you don't, then the shot's going to be very wonky. It actually shoots in circles, so make sure you guys have that under control. Next, we're moving on to the ISO 45. This thing is the best SMG in Warzone 2 right now, so we're starting out with the X10 RR40. For sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness at the cost of aim down sight speed and aiming stability. Some people choose to use the muzzle suppressor, like not the silencers, but they choose to use, like, say along the lines of the Spiral V 3.5 flash hider. Completely up to you if you choose to do that. I think this was the better option considering the positives you'll get, like sound suppression, bullet velocity, all that. So I set the bullet velocity at 0.68 inches in length, and the weight is 1.22 ounces for recoil smoothness. 0.45 auto overpressured for no enemy skulls or target flinch, so when you shoot the enemy, your gun will actually kick up more. I set the tuning to 6.68 GR for bullet velocity, and the damage range is set to 0.45 G. 45 round drum is just the most optimal choice in my opinion. I don't think you should really use anything beyond that. I think this is the best possible choice. 12 round is just not good, and 30 you're probably going to run out of bullets pretty fast. VLK laser 7 MW for aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and sprint to fire speed at the cost of the laser being visible in ADS. I set the aim down sight speed to negative 31.26 feet and the weight to negative 0.24 ounces for sprint to fire speed. SK3 CHEETAH for sprint speed, crouch movement speed, aim walking speed, and aim down sight speed at the cost of aiming stability and recoil control. The tuning is set to negative 0.31 inches for aim walking speed and negative 1.16 ounces for aim down sight speed. This weapon right here is honestly a treasure. It's very easy to use. In fact, the only downside may be super long range, but with super long range, all you guys have to do is burst fire. I'm telling you guys, you're probably never going to be in that predicament in Warzone where you have to shoot from that far with this weapon. You'll most likely just switch to your primary and actually get the job done. So in my opinion, these ranges for short to medium range just get the job done. They're absolutely amazing, and the recoil is very, very manageable. In fact, if you wanted more recoil control, you probably could substitute something like the VLK laser and put on a barrel or a rear grip or underbarrel. It doesn't really matter. You would get more recoil control. But I think this is the best possible build for the ISO 45, best TTK. You're off the map and you're just going to go crazy. Next, we're moving on to some more metas, which are the Lockman 5.56 and the MP5. I know a lot of people still love these builds, so I should give you the best possible build for them. So we're starting out with the Harbinger D20 for sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness at the cost of aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and aim walking speed. Because this is AR, that doesn't matter. Set the tuning to 0.55 inches for bullet velocity and the recoil smoothness to 1.08 ounces. Next, we're putting on the 15.9 Lockman Rat Barrel for bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, and hip fire accuracy. At the cost of aim down sight speed, movement speed, and hip recoil control, set the tuning for damage range to 0.01 inches, or just don't change it at all. It doesn't really matter that much. The recoil steadiness is set to 0.37 pounds. 5.56 high velocity for bullet velocity at the cost of damage range. Set the bullet velocity 8.42 GR and the damage range of 0.59 Gs. Now, this is controversial. If you want to use overpressured, just change. You can keep the tuning the same, but just change to overpressured, and you won't get less damage range. Sit on 60 round mag for the max ammo capacity. Now, if you want to use 40, completely up to you, but this thing is going to burn through bullets very quickly. So I think 60 is very optimal, especially with the fast fire rate. And last but not least, once again, the personal preference, aim out V4. Absolutely love using this gun. I set the far distance to negative 1.65 inches. So if you want to use that, completely up to you for the optic. The beautiful thing about this is the thing has such little recoil and it's very easy to use. And as you guys see, it actually shoots incredibly fast. So you're dealing with a very fast fire rate weapon with very low recoil, and it just makes for an amazing combination. So if you guys want to use this, feel free. It's absolutely stunning. But we're going to move on to the MP5 now, which is the Lockman Sub. The Lockman Sub is... It's probably one of the best SMGs in the game, but I will say the ISO 45 has it beat a little bit now, especially due to the TTK change and the health increase and everything. So I put on the X10 RR40 for sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness at the cost of aim down sight speed and aiming stability. I set the bullet velocity at 0.32 inches and the recoil smoothness to 0.90 ounces. I then put on the MERC FOREGRIP for hip fire accuracy, recoil steadiness, hip recoil control, and aim walking steadiness at the cost of hip walking speed and aim down sight speed. I tuned the aim down sight speed to negative 0.28 inches and the hip walking speed to negative 0.54 ounces. Then put on the 9mm overpressured for the target flinch. Tuned the bullet velocity of 4.94 GR and the damage range of 0.45 G. 40 round mag because I don't think 50 is necessary. In fact, I picked up somebody's 50 round MP5 and it just felt way slower. So 40 is perfect, and this tuning is absolutely ideal for the MP5. VLK laser 7MW. For aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and sprint to fire speed at the cost of the laser being visible in ADS. Set the aim down sight speed to negative 19.74 feet and the sprint to fire speed to negative 0.23 ounces. Remember, you can just be as close as possible. It does not have to be perfect. Now, the last thing I do want to show you guys is an alternative to all the other SMGs, and in my opinion, I think is absolutely beautiful, is the MP7. So the MP7 gets the job done very easily, especially close range. Put on the X10 RR40 for sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness at the cost of aim down sight speed and aim stability. Tune the bullet velocity at 0.32 inches and do not change the weight. I know that's going to sound funny, but trust me, that's what you want. Put on the SCHLAGER L203 barrel for damage range, hip fire accuracy, and bullet velocity at the cost of aim down sight speed and hip recoil control. Set the damage range to 0.30 inches. Do not change the weight once again. VLK laser 7MW for aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and sprint to fire speed at the cost of laser being visible in ADS. Do not change the zeroing distance, but change the weight to negative 0.37 ounces for sprint to fire speed. Demo RXT stock for crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and aim down sight speed at the cost of recoil control. Tune the aiming out stability of 1.70 inches and the weight to negative 1.42 ounces. Last but not least, SCHLAGER soldier grip for sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed at the cost of recoil control. Set the sprint to fire speed to negative 0.20 inches and the aim down sight speed to negative 0.48 ounces. Now, between the MP7 and the MP5, these two are very, very ideal weapons if you guys do not have the ISO 45. I know not everyone has the battle pass all the way leveled up or haven't even tried to use the battle pass yet. So the ISO 45 is the ideal SMG, but if you don't have that, these two are great options. So let me know in the comment section down below which loadout you guys chose. I would greatly appreciate it and help me with the algorithm.